Welcome back to Fast Market here on the Schwab Network. We're talking Oracle had earnings. Stocks had a pretty good run, up about 17.5%, 18% so far this year. Last quarter, the stock rallied to all-time highs on the back of RPO, remaining performance obligations. They grew 29% as well to $80 billion. So lots built into their backlog numbers also. Let's bring in Caroline Wood, Senior Markets Correspondent, to help us break this down. Caroline, big things expected from this company, but it's been kind of range bound since that pop that we saw last quarter.
Hey there, Tom. Yes, it has, although it's up about 6% so far in June. Shares under a bit of pressure heading into this report, which Oracle reports after the bell today. But as you said, up about 18% year to date. It's really been taking advantage of AI demand to boost its cloud infrastructure business. It has partnerships with Microsoft and Palantir, so we'll expect to hear more about that on the call today. In terms of the actual numbers that we're looking for fiscal Q4, adjusted EPS of $1.64, that's actually a decline of about 3 cents per share from the year-ago period's number. Revenue is expected to increase, though, about 5% to $14.56 billion. That number was at $13.84 billion last year. We'll really be looking for sustained momentum in that cloud infrastructure revenue, which saw really impressive growth in Q3. We'll see if they can sustain that into Q4. We'll also look closely, as you said, at the remaining performance obligations. In Q3 on the call, they talked about demand for their Gen 2 AI infrastructure substantially exceeding supply, despite the fact that they were opening new and expanding existing cloud data centers very, very rapidly. So we'll see, as you said, that number was up 29%, over $80 billion in Q3. We'll see if they can sustain that momentum as well there. And then, of course, outlook will be key. In terms of what Wall Street's looking for the full fiscal year, they're looking for revenue to increase about 7.5%. And then for the next fiscal year, revenue is expected to increase about 8.5%, $57.8 billion. Not sure that they'll actually get into that on the call. Safra Catz usually gives the outlook on the call for Oracle. But Safra Catz has said the company is committed to hitting $65 billion in fiscal 2026. They affirmed that last reporting period. So let's see if they have any updates to that or any of the nearer-term guidance, because she had said some of these goals might prove to be too conservative given our momentum. So shares under a bit of pressure right now, down about 0.5% heading into this report.
Caroline, their business, their legacy database business is a slow grower, right? And that hampered this company for years. But now they were able to go into cloud and regenerate this business a bit, reaccelerate things. Now, they're still behind AWS, they're still behind Azure, but is AI a new chapter? Is this a new story they can write? Another thing for Larry Ellison to pivot into and reaccelerate this stock? Is that like another big opportunity for them?
Oh, certainly. If you look at some of the commentary from Oracle's last reporting period and even previous, they've definitely touted, and they've seen it in terms of their cloud infrastructure business, with revenues up 49% year over year in Q3. So it's definitely an important part of their business as they made that shift to the cloud. I do think a few things to keep in mind. Obviously, in terms of competition, Azure has a way to go for that. But even if you look at some of the other software stocks versus hardware stocks when it comes to AI, it's definitely been a friendlier environment to the hardware space, sure, the NVIDIAs of the world. So I think that's important to note, because if you take a look at Salesforce or Workday or MongoDB, for example, they were all punished and because they disappointed on their earnings, and Oracle's been outperforming all of those software stocks this year. So the bar might be high for Oracle, given the fact that it is up 18% year to date. I will say analysts are pretty split on this name, 20 buys, 15 holds, no sells on the name, and the median price target's $144.50. So it implies about 15-16% upside over the next 12 months. So I think that I think the bar, though, is important to note, just the fact that it has already seen some pretty substantial gains, and the fact that it's not as friendly to the software environment. The other quick thing I wanted to mention was there is that report that Oracle was on the verge of finalizing a $10 billion contract with Elon Musk's AI startup X.AI. So we'll see if they mention anything about that on this call as well, because that could be another catalyst to the upside.
Yep, hyperscaler business. They're nearing that $10 billion deal to rent those AI servers to them, and the cross-selling aspect of this company within the tech space, because they have, I think, all of the Fortune 500 companies
and don't
as some
fake
type of
Larry Ellison.
Yeah, it's hard to do. He hasn't been doing his M&A activity, which is typically what he does. So maybe that's going to help the top and bottom lines also. All right, great stuff. Thanks to Caroline Woods, Senior Markets Correspondent here, breaking down Oracle ahead of earnings.